What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of From the Crib podcast with your boy Philly Cash and I got E and K with me. How y'all feeling today?
We good, brother.
Good,
bro.
Let's get into it.
We good, brother. We got a lot to get into today, so I'm gonna start with how media handles or how media criticize like different athletes in the arts. Do y'all believe that all criticism is fair criticism or constructive criticism? And what you think draws the line? Like we see with LeBron defending his son to Stephen A. We see the criticism that the Ball brothers had received, or Deion and his sons, about him switching from basketball to music. So what do you guys think? All criticism is deserving or warranted, or is all criticism not as constructive?
Let me tell you what I learned in this topic as far as from being a Ravens fan. Because as you know, Lamar Jackson is one of the athletes that get the most criticism. And like throughout the years, I've come to the realization that you really can't take it personal. It's all about ratings. So like when these sports commentators are saying all these controversial things about Lamar Jackson, LeBron James, Bronny James, like any of these athletes, you can't really take it too serious because you know they doing it just to get the views, just to get the numbers. Like, get it. And then when you're talking about the LeBron situation, I can understand why he would be frustrated with it because, that's his family. But at the end of the day, you have to realize their business is getting attention. If you had everything nice to say about a particular quarterback, you had everything nice to say about a particular NBA, MLB, celebrity, whatever it may be, nobody's going to care. People tune in for that controversy. People turn in for that beef and that messy stuff. So that's why you can't really, I don't even take, like, as a fan, like, I don't even take it personal no more. I just say, oh, they just trying to get views. They just trying to get people talking. And that's all it is.
Yeah. It balances itself out at the end of the day, too, because if you look at, like, the Lamar hate and all the Lamar dealt, you go to, like, what's his name? Kyle, I forget the dude, sports commentator dude, but he speaks highly about Lamar, and he get views on that. It's like, all right, when you got one pendulum lean into hate, you always got to have a pendulum pointing back to the good side. So it start balancing itself out, and then that's where like you start drawing a line of who's pro this and who's pro that, and then that's where you get these different takes from all around the world and all around the social media of what people really think. But I think it's gonna have to be a balance of the two.
Yeah, but you gotta realize too, on every show there's always opposite opinions, and that's by design because they also are creating that conflict within the show. So like you'll notice, like if you watch the show with was that Acho and Shady McCoy and all of them, like you might have Acho that's saying he might be rooting for Josh Allen to win the MVP. This is like one of the things they were talking about for a good part of the end of the season. You might have him that's pro Josh Allen for the MVP. Then you might have Shady or Jones that's pro Lamar. Like you got to have that conflict in the media, and then you got to have that conflict within the show itself. So it's like it's kind of the same thing. You never, for the most part, you're not going to see a show where there's multiple guests or multiple hosts where they have all have the same opinions. So like, and part of that is definitely manufactured. You got to think these shows have extensive meetings before the show, so they'll know. I'm gonna take this stance. You create your argument for this stance, and you take this stance. You create your argument for that stance. So that's all also part of the design of the show. Like, again, nobody's going to tune into the show if all of the hosts have the same opinion and they agreeing on everything. So that's like all part of that producing a show that people want to tune into.
But that's the manufacturing of the whole machine, which we call sports and sports betting and getting those opinions, and that's what like stirs the pot. And that's kind of like hypothetically, let's say if it was a sports show that existed that really gave honest and accurate, criticism or feedback for games, what Do you think that it would impact like ratings like in a good or positive way? Because I think it's always hard. Like sports is so circumstantial in certain cases. Like, all right, this team not going to perform as well if this person get hurt, or in those different things that we try to like just for viewership. I wonder how much that impacts the game. Because let's say somebody say something bad about this player, it impacts his game, so now he got to prove him wrong. And then you got the other flip side of it of like, let's say if he didn't see it or he didn't, like it's an interesting beast that we deal with when we talk about like sports and commentating the media and gambling, right?
Yeah, it's real diverse. It's real diverse because I feel like it's different layers on what part it impacts. Because then you have the fan aspect, you got the commentator aspect, then you got the player, right? And then you got the new media, which is the old player that's now commentating, right? So you got people speaking from a psychology point of view. You got people speaking from a fan point of view, and they are automatically going to be biased. Then you got people who just speaking from just like, I just don't like this dude, or let me just give bad commentary on this, or I just love this dude, let me give good commentary on this. But I feel like all in all, it makes the ultimate fan. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why we tune in. Like when Patrick Mahomes comes to town, we heard everything that he had to say in the media. We heard all the fans, and they just regurgitating what they said on TV. Like, yo, Pat, do this time of the game. And so we watch into the fourth quarter, see what he's going to do, because that anticipation, that buildup of what we be hearing throughout the week, and that big yarn of talk that we heard through the week makes the game. It makes why we tune in. And you don't think they scared when Lamar Jackson coming to the stadium? Like, yo, he going, you know what I'm saying? And then all these chop ups, all the players talking about Lamar Jackson, like, man, he was faster than I thought. And then you got all this mythology things just build up in the fans. So I think it all plays a part on why people watch sports.
Speaking of, how media portray the sports, what do you see the impact being on the different leagues, whether it's the ratings or attendance or impact in culture, with some of the leagues taking out certain celebrations that may be explicit or perceived as explicit based on, social media and people that's, portraying it? Do you feel like it's taken away from the game or the experience? Or do you feel like it's going to, force more professionalism within the game and sportsmanship? What you think? What you guys take?
I mean, we can't go backwards. I feel like the athletes got to have a little bit more awareness of what they're doing as well. Just like the kid in college when he was doing the gun, he was shooting at the, right. Come with something like some of the stuff. You gotta be more.
You gotta know some things is not.
Yeah, like keep it within the game. But I think Chad is a prime example of how we should have been playing the game the whole time. It's, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. So they there to entertain. They putting their bodies on the line. They putting their lives on the line to entertain the fan. But I feel like we keep it entertaining. But like, come on, like
keep it PG.
Keep it PG. It's 100 things you can do.
Think. It's all walks of life of people that's going to be watching these games, including kids.
Yeah,
so,
know your audience.
Yeah, but then also some of the things, like I think they did the smelly nose one. You can't do no more. Like I think some of that stuff is like they kind of reaching, but
yeah, no, but that's my beef low key with the NFL though, is the fact that, let's say, I'm gonna go back to the Kaepernick thing, right? Kaepernick took a knee. He already explained why he was taking a knee with different reasons with the Black Lives Matter and a lot of things that was going on culturally and in the news at the time to back his stance on why he was taking a knee, right?
Yeah, but it's not football though.
But then you have a year later and it say end racism on the back of helmets in the back of the end zone, when like it's okay to move the needle a little bit, that you can dictate what players do that's relevant to the culture and then take it away at a time where that's like the voice a little bit. So it's kind of like it's like you playing like a double-edged sword with that, because it's like, is it okay to do these things, or it's only okay when you on it when it benefits the league? You know what I mean? So that's kind of
it's sports DEI type of shit. It's like It's sports DEI when you think about it. Like, everybody think this wrong. It's all numbers. It's all numbers at the end of the day. Like, the society and everybody think this wrong. Let's change it up. But when you got the Kaepernick thing, then you got some people. You got the veterans who like, no, you need to stand for the national anthem. Oh no, like all lives matter. They like, oh, they gotta pick a side. But when they like and I felt like he did move the needle. But then you have Black Lives Matter and how massive that conversation was, where everybody was like, yeah, that is wrong. So they were like, all right, cool, everybody in agreement. Oh, put it on the back of the end zone. So it's all business, bro. It's like all business. So it's like when I say DI, it's like, yo, we should hire more women. You know what I'm saying? We should hire more black people. We should have black coaches. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if it's like a overall like opinion, like, oh yeah, this is we should be doing this, they'll move that way. Is it genuine? Oh, because these owners don't care. These owners, they care about the bottom line, bro. They don't care. They, as long as they trying to appease everybody. But at the end of the day, it is bringing awareness to these situations. Like, we have Cancer Month for a reason. Like, they have these different causes that they support because there's a big enough outpour for it. And they're like, all right, we'll sign off on that. So it's not a genuine thing. I think it's more so like the bottom line, and this is what people care about. So let's do something to, be on that side.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, it's the NFL just want to make sure people know who's in charge. So every so often they be like, let me take this from you. Let me take this from you. Let me remind y'all who really in charge over here.
Yeah. They'll put that foot down every once in a while.
And that's not, and that's why it's like, it's real interesting, because it's kind of like, I don't want to call it exploitation, because at the same time they get paid millions, so they need to have some decorum with their work. You feel me? But you gotta understand, like, a lot of the backgrounds of some of the players and stuff like that. So sometimes when those rule changes come about, it's like, are you accepting these people for who they are, or is it like, you're good as long as you stay on this lane? And that's kind of like a little bit of the gripe of the NFL that I see like a lot of people have. It's like,
it's NFL games. Popularity. It's NFL games on Nickelodeon now. So you gotta be, for brand wise, you can't be doing this. I can't do that. You can't do that. So like,
right.
I mean, I get it as a businessman. I get it. Like, they're a business at the end of the day,
Ellis, what you just said brought up another topic that kind of ties into this, that I think we're going to be dealing with for the next 10 years. And that's the removal of, I'm starting off with NFL, but I think it's going to spread to other sports, but the removal of these games from regular free TV. So, starting a couple years ago, they went over to Amazon Prime. Now we got games on Netflix. Then we got certain games you got to have Peacock to watch. And then it's going to get to the point where it's going to be pay-per-view on regular NFL games. And I would almost bet to say within the next 10 years, the actual Super Bowl will be pay-per-view.
That's going to be sad.
So it's moving in that direction.
So like, do you think is the sport popular enough to warrant you paying for regular games, let alone when it gets to the point where you're going to be paying for playoff games? Playoff games might be on, I don't know, HBO Max that you need to have a subscription to watch. Netflix is already, it's already there on Netflix. So like, where do you see that going in the next 10 years, and how will that affect the league? Do you think it's going to, subtract from the viewership?
It's going to increase gambling. I know that for sure. Because you got to think, if you got to start paying for games to watch them, and you see a lot of the trend of, sports betting has become more accessible, more popular. Like, I know females that be betting on games and don't know nothing about it. And I feel like, all right, you got to pay for it. I'm going to go to the casino. All the games is going to be on, and I'm a sports bet, and it's all lucrative for the league. So if you're not a sports bettor and you love the team enough, you're going to pay for it. If you're a sports bettor, you need to see the games. You're going to go to the casino and bet on them. So either way, they're going to get your money, and they're going to put you in a corner to the point where you're like, oh, in order for me to be involved in some sports, I got to come out of pocket some way, somehow. I mean, I got Fire Stick, so I'm excluded.
Yeah. But the crazy part is, it's like the NFL is double dipping, because normally when you have to pay for a service, you would at least not have to watch commercials. We have to
Right.
pay for it,
Absolutely.
and we still gotta watch commercials. So what I would like to see, and I don't know if this will ever happen. I don't know if NFL would agree to this, but let's get that's real time mic'd up players. Put it on HBO. Put that behind a paywall.
Ooh.
And have like the real live mic, the uncensored version of the NFL. Now I would pay for that.
I pay for that.
Now that would, yeah, now that would set them on another path of some extra income. But like, to go back to your first question, I think it's just gonna like, we in the biggest market in the age in the history of, probably like in our history, in human history, we in the like most marketed era. So whether we're going to pay for it, they're going to find a way to get their money, because what's going to happen is, like you're saying, a lot of companies are still recovering from like 2020, especially when you see all the changes with the restaurants and stuff like that. So what's the best way to make money is getting people out their houses. So whether they want to pay for it or go to a public space, they're going to find ways to make their money. You know what I mean? And like you said, them ads are popping up constantly. So even if you at home and you pay for your subscription, like America and how Netflix and the NFL work, man, they became kind of like marketing geniuses, because in a sense they find ways to package these things as if you already getting a deal, but essentially we kind of going back to the age of cable TV, essentially, because you paying like $9.99 over here for Netflix. Then you paying like another $9.99 to $20 for Amazon Prime, and then they got these different deals where you could go monthly or pay for your annual membership. So it's like the NFL, man. They and as consumers, we always got the FOMO effect, right? So we always got the fear of missing out. So that's always going to push that person to click that button and be like, man, I can't miss the Super Bowl. You said Beyonce, or you know, Kendrick,
Drake
or somebody,
about to be
or Drake about to be performing. So now you not only have pressure of you being a sports fan, now you might have your significant other or the kids just wanting to watch Drake perform or somebody. Yeah. So you kind of, your hands are tied a little bit. So it's just that type of factor. And being that you're going to see it marketed throughout your social media the week of the Super Bowl or leading up to it, and the storylines they already have with players, it's no way we could turn against it.
Yeah, but if you look at how the broadcast industry works and how it's moving towards streaming services, you can see the trajectory of how these games are going. Because if you go back 20 years, the CBSs, the ABCs, the Foxes, they were the biggest media companies. Now, fast forward now, you look at Netflix as one of the top 10 valuable companies in the world. So the way the NFL makes money is, back in the day, it would be CBS would pay the NFL, let's say $500 million for the rights to broadcast their games. And then they'll make the money back by selling ads.
Right.
But now, Netflix is probably 10 times as big as CBS. So the NFL was looking at, all right, who's going to pay me the most money to show these games? So we might get to a point where every Sunday, the games are on Netflix, or every game is on Amazon Prime, or whatever these new juggernauts in the Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, Peacock, like all of these are now 10 times bigger than CBS, Fox, and NBC. So like, we're going to get to the point where not just these specialized Christmas or Thanksgiving games, it's going to be every game. Like, I even think, wasn't there one of the playoff games on one of those streaming services this year?
It was on Amazon.
Yeah, I think they were splitting it between Amazon and
Yeah, so I can almost guarantee you it's going to be within the next 10 years to where Sunday mornings we're going to be loading up Netflix to watch the games versus turning on WJZ or Channel 13 ABC or whatever it is, CBS.
Yeah, even on I agree. I feel like even on the on a lower scale. You look at some of these comedians. I seen a comedian talk about like selling his specials to Netflix or to these platforms. Because I remember when all we had to do is turn on the TV and we would watch Apollo or like Comic View, or we watch America's Got Talent, and those were the springboards to make someone a superstar. But now that all the social media, you can make yourself into a star, and then you just sell the product to an Amazon or to a Netflix, and then if you get it on there, you just get in front of the eyeballs, and then you springboard to success. It's like the same method on every piece of the totem pole. And even our talk on even the podcast space. Like, I don't need to go to ESPN. I could be at ESPN. I don't need to. I mean, it's the same thing.
Just look at all the personalities on ESPN. Almost all of them had their own podcast on YouTube now.
Yeah,
simple.
And that's why I said this is the most marketed era, because even watching the Super Bowl this past year, I don't know how many commercials I seen with Drewski on there, Kai Cenat. Like, these guys are like social media influencers making big time TV, and then when you go on their personal channels, they promoting these different events. Like, yeah, I'm at the Super Bowl. So it's like impossible to get away from, because at the end of the day, you're going to want to tune in. If they put it behind some paywalls, you're going to want to tune in because your favorite streamer or YouTuber, you don't want to miss these commercials that you might see these people in. So you don't want to be late to the party.
Pretty much all of these new social media platforms pretty much put the keys in the hands of whoever wants it to be. If you want to put yourself out there, you used to have to go through all these loops and obstacles to get through the TV networks, and now you can just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go through all these obstacles. So it's like so much easier to be discovered if you have a talent. Now, of course, it's going to be a lot more saturated now just because everybody has the ability to do it. But if you're somebody who has a unique talent and you put yourself out there, you're going to get discovered. Yeah.
And then, just to speak on that, I know we got like all this stuff going on with the government and the president and all that stuff. And we and talks of like a Great Depression or depression or something like that. Do y'all feel like this is just the generation of that's going to create more wealthy people, or do you feel like this is a time where you need to be scarce with your money? You need to be more like, make sure you have your savings, because I feel like today it's way more ways to make money than it ever has been in world history. So I guess the question is, do you feel like you can make more money now than you could then in the past?
You definitely can make more money now just because you got so many more opportunities to do it. And you got so much, so many different ways to get the information to do it now. Like back in the day, I could imagine a lot of the information you needed might have been gate kept by certain people. But now you can pretty much go online and find out how to do anything. So like if there's something that you have an interest in, or if it's something you saw somebody else doing and making money off and you want to know how to do it, it's pretty simple just to go online and figure it out versus back then. And you have to be in the right circle. You got to know the right people. You got to know the right connects to get that information.
You hit it first. There's no excuse. Yeah. It's no excuse to be broke out here in 2025.
Yeah. But he touched on two very important things, though, because it's the power of information. Like, I feel like if we were getting into one of those like Armageddon, the world shutdown situations, it's better to know something than to have money, because I feel like money is going to be obsolete at that point. Like, money out the window. It goes into, survival and what you know to survive. And I think, if people do have that fear, you might want to pick up a skill or a trade to kind of like that you feel might benefit you and help you if you in a situation where, survival is key. Because, I agree with what you both about, now you pretty much can find any way to make money. Like, you should be able to find a way to. This is an information era, so sometimes if you're not looking for it, you're not trying to find it.
Don't be scared out here. Don't be scared. Go get it.
So let's talking about information era. Let's change topics real quick. So online, there's a buzz going around. First of all, we all know how big the game GTA 6 is going to be, right? One of the most awaited games. Been waiting 10 plus years for the next iteration of GTA 5 or GTA 6 to come out. And there's a buzz going around the internet that there's scheduled to be a trailer dropping tomorrow, April 1st, April Fool's Day, that is, for GTA 6, the second trailer for GTA 6. The first trailer was, I think, the most watched gaming clip in YouTube history.
Wow.
Something crazy like 50, 60, 70 million views. Just to let you know how awaited and how much money this game is going to make when it comes out. A lot of rumors are out right now that this game is going to release at the price of $100.
Game?
The game.
The game, man.
Hell no.
So, do you see yourself as being one of the people that's going to fork out that $100 when GTA 6 comes out?
Hell no.
I might have to grab it. I'm gonna tell you why though, because I look at the gaming industry now as an investment. So if I'm a gamer, I ain't gonna say me personally. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna be investing it to actually make money. But if I'm a gamer in the way that this game might last, you paying $50. I think GTA probably been selling themselves short for some years now. Because you gotta think about it. You paying for a game for the next 4 to 6 years. And I seen that some of the features might have some AI essence in it. So this game now is going to be forever evolving. So you're not just paying $100 for like how we pay for a Madden every year. We pay for, they might upgrade some of the, but it's only but so much you can upgrade with football, Can't implement any new things. But
think about it. Like you pay right now, Madden is $70. So you got to think you paying $70 for a game that's another one coming out next year versus GTA, which GTA 5 had a run of 10 years.
Yes, yeah.
And they still coming out with content on GTA, and they still have a large player base. So if you think about it, if you pay $100 and it's another 10 years before the next GTA 7 comes out, paying $10 a year versus you're already paying $60, $70 a year for Madden.
Yeah.
But you might have, you got to get it out the mud, man. If you don't want to pay for them add-ons and stuff like that, you got to get your gaming out the mud. You just got to, because, people just, you can get the extra money on there and the coins by paying into it. Same with Madden, like those guys that's really big in the Ultimate Team, they of course going to make their their money still off of the game. But yeah, for something like GT, $100 don't sound too outrageous. And if I had to choose any game that would test that water or that price, it have to be GTA.
I mean, I ain't played GTA in so long. I ain't got no draw for me, for real. I haven't played it in so long.
Yeah, so this is the other layer to it. So the rumors are that what's really delaying the release of GTA 6 is this game is going to have, I don't know if you remember GTA 5, there was a lot of hacks to get a lot of money on a GTA Online. And right now they're in the process of developing economic system in the game to where you can actually make real money. So that's why they have to make sure that there's no glitches, there's no way to exploit the system, because there's going to be an in-game ecosystem that can turn into real life money. And there's a lot of games that's already like that in the kids space, like Roblox and VR. Some of the VR games where the money that you make in-game can be transferred into real money. So that right there is going to take the game into a whole different level where the money that you make in game can be transferred into money in real life, which is, I think that's going to be something different, especially for that type of game.
Damn.
That is wild.
Damn.
I mean, you can be a professional gamer. And it's about time that sometimes the gaming industry give back to its consumers, because, a lot of people spend a lot of time on games, and then, like we just talked about, the influencers and streamers are essentially playing these games for like 24, 48 straight hours. That's promotion. That's marketing, that's promotion on the new games and new character packages and map packs that they come out with. So, man, that's good for gaming. Yeah. I think it's going to be good for gaming.
I'm a big fan of that role play, the RP, the PR, it's RP. That RP play like Teddy Grizz. They got their own little server,
their own world servers,
they playing gangster on there. That should be that content be funny. When I be watching them play on there, they be acting like they really in the hood and really be rolling up with people and making friends and really staying in character. I think that's funny, yo. I think that content will breathe life into a lot of social media content.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that there's supposed to be some built-in aspects of that in the online version of the game too. Again, I can see why this game has been 10 years in development. They're trying to put a lot of stuff into the game, and it's a good reason a lot of people are so excited for it to come out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you die on there, that you can't come back for the next 24 hours. It can stop the crime rate. Stop.
If you die, you gotta log off
for hours. And really, people be real upset when they get killed on there. Like,
yo.
So it's really
but imagine
got on the game.
Now you really got.
Yeah, but imagine the difficulties of the bots if you could really go on there, rob the liquor store, and cash that money out for real currency. You know how hard they about to make this damn game? They about to make the computers fighting for their lives on it. Like, you just can't go up to some random person, start beating them up and take his bread. They might put up a fight this time.
Get locked up. Right. You get locked up on there, and you gotta do the time. Like I gotta do a week, yo.
Like, you already seen that evolution of the computers, because I remember I got on GTA not too long ago, and then you start fighting the pedestrians. Now the pedestrians got guns, so they already leaning that way. Like, they not bots no more.
The curry down.
Right, you used to be able to hit them and they'd flop around. Now they whipping out the pistol on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So yeah, I like I said, I understand why a lot of people are excited about it. As of now, there hasn't been any announcement that the game is going to be delayed. 2025 was the year of release, so hopefully at the end of this year we'll be playing GTA 6.
Or everybody by E.
Nah, I might get on there. You can make some bread on there. I don't know where the bread at, but nah. Just a transition. I wanted to talk some Colorado news because I'm a Colorado. So, as everybody know, there's been a lot of talk about Deion Sanders leaving for the NFL because of Suns, and he always said that he wanted to stay. He loved it in Colorado and so forth and so forth. So it's just been released today, according to reports, that he agreed on terms to a new deal. So Coach Prime will be earning $10 million in each of the first 2 seasons under the extension, and then we'll get $1 million salary bump for the 3rd and 4th years. Sanders' compensations jumped until $12 million in his final year of his deal. And now we all know that Coach Prime has revolutionized the sport. Start coming in Colorado, taking it over as a 1-11 team, and then to a 4-8 record, and then last season as a 9-3. So now that will make him the top paid coach in the Big 12, and then jump into the top 5 earning coach of all NCAA. So what y'all think about this new deal, and how you think it's going to pan out for his next 5 seasons now in Boulder?
I think it's good for Prime. They get that payday that he deserves. But now it's going to be real interesting to see how the team develops. Shador is a top 5 draft pick. So that's a quarterback that normally probably wouldn't even be in Colorado's options if it wasn't for somebody like Prime. So now it's going to be curious to see, like, if he can continue to recruit the talent he already has, which a lot of people are calling an NFL coaching staff. So it's going to be curious to see how he can continue to develop his talent, continue to recruit some of the best talent in the nation, and get them coached up and start competing to be in that 12-team college playoff. I think that's really the next step in the progression at Colorado, is to get them into that 12-team playoff and see if they can make some noise. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the new players that they have this year and see what the team look like on the field this year.
Yeah. I think it's going to be I think it's good. I think it's going to secure him earlier, like being that he's going to be staying put for the next 3 years if he live out the contract. He's going to start getting those recruits from this class on for the next 3 years. So that's going to be early. Like, he already got that early start on recruitment, because I feel like right now, with the eyes that's on Colorado, everybody wants to go there. And then based on his coaching staff continuing to be enhanced, you're going to get pro you're going to get pro ready by going there. And that's what, like, in the past drove people to, like, the Alabamas. And I'm also interested to see how Belichick do in North Carolina. But with this happening with Colorado, I think he definitely going to get elite talent to start breaking into the playoffs and making a run for it. And I think that's a good window, because a lot of people foresee him coaching his son at some point in the league. And I think that would be good to see if he get rid of his sea legs in the first 3 years of being in the NFL and becoming a professional before eventually teaming up with Deion. So I'm actually liking the contract extension that he offered.
Listen. You heard it first on From the Crib podcast. Deion Sanders will be the first African-American coach to win the national championship. And I say this because think about the time that we live in and the kids that we are nurturing as athletes. We talked about in episode 2 how these new athletes are dealing with or wanting the eyes on them, wanting the money, wanting the popularity, wanting the likes, wanting the follows. You know what I'm saying? And all aspire to go to the NFL. What other place in America would you find the best cornerback that ever played alongside one of the best defensive line pass rushers of all time, Super winning gold jacket, one of the best running backs that ever played in Marshall Faulk, on one coaching staff in Boulder, Colorado, that they're now calling Canton, Colorado, where he's getting kids that's only going to be prepped to go to the NFL. And with that and all the notoriety that Prime brings, all the famous people that he can bring through there. He had Denzel already this year coming to just talk to him in the spring camp. And having Lil Wayne rock him out last year and so forth and so on. What other place do you know of this modern day athlete? Where else would you want to go other than Boulder, Colorado, to play for Colorado University? And I feel like Primes came in the perfect time in the NIL space, in this era. Mm-hmm. There's no other college that's going to be able to replicate that in the transfer portal. And he's treating the transfer portal like free agency. And he's taking less high school kids and more transfer portal kids. And now that he signed this contract, and now it's no more tarnishing. Because I know some colleges like, why would you go to Colorado? He gonna leave. He gonna go follow his sons. There's no point for you to go there. He's not gonna be there. That goes out the window. They already got the top quarterback in the class. You know what I'm saying? Already on the roster. So now you can't say, oh, don't go to Colorado. Deion Sanders not gonna be there. He's gonna be there for 4 or 5 more years. So anyone who was having those thoughts, anyone who's going to jump in the transfer portal after the spring games, or anyone who was undecided, freshmen coming out of high school, they're going to Colorado. And Colorado will now have one of the best teams in the United States.
I agree. I mean, because like you said, like a lot of people was putting a lot of flack behind. He coached his son up, but not only that, but he also had Travis Hunter.
He has the Heisman winner.
Heisman winner, and that's just that goes to show that with that exposure, what that can do for one of the top athletes that's coming out of high school. Because you could give examples of a Travis Hunter, a Horn Jr., Jimmy Horn Jr. As these guys coming from his program and being top picks, it's interesting that his transition from Jackson State to Colorado, that you seen he bring some of the talent with him and bring those guys. But in order for people to get their due respect at times, you do have to go to some of those schools. That's what goes to show. It's like the proof is in the pudding that he did it at so many levels. And now he's kind of the person that's leading the revolution into this NIL and transfer portal era.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
All right, so speaking of Deion Sanders, what you guys think about, we always had these conversations about from era to era who was successful, who was great. I know you guys have seen in the media about the Deion Sanders versus Asante Samuel's beef. Just before we get started, I'm gonna just give you some stats from one of the popular posts that's going circulating through social media. For Deion, he played 188 games. He had 53 interceptions, 5 playoff interceptions, and 2 Super Bowls. Compared to Asante Samuels, who played 153 games, had 51 interceptions, 7 playoff interceptions, and 2 Super Bowls. So what's your guys' take on this? I don't know if you've seen his post with Asante Samuels, but he mentioned how we are prisoners of the moment in terms of the marketing genius of Deion Sanders. It's hard to say that other DBs can't be compared to him. I'm paraphrasing, but can't be compared to him due to his aura. So do you guys agree on that on some magnitude, or where do you guys see this debate?
Man, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Asante Samuel?
Asante Samuel.
Yeah, he 2-time Super Bowl champ. He had 51 interceptions in less games and 7 playoff interceptions. His resume is pretty decent.
How many Deion interceptions?
You know how much more they do the ball when he played versus when Deion played?
Okay, this is like what I like to hear. This is what I like to hear.
Hey, look.
I don't even think we should even raise his name up to the status to even have a conversation. Like, it's not even, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, you saying even comparing the eras of like receivers he had to play against versus him, or like you just feel like just the nature of the game wasn't the same. That makes sense though.
Asante Samuels was a good cornerback. I don't think nobody has ever even thought to say he was the best to ever do it.
Never over Revis and Charles Woodson.
I could probably name 3 players that played in his era that I would say is better than him. So to try to put him in the same conversation as Deion, the best corner to ever do it, that's crazy.
What's your take, E? Because this all started on proper techniques. They was talking about the techniques they used to defend receivers, and they disagreed,
I mean, it's a lot of layers to that. You can't blame somebody for the aura that they brung to a position. So let's just go just by the aura of the confidence of making the cornerback position at the time relevant, right? So he like, hey, I'm the cornerback. I'm gonna be the best player on this field, and I'm gonna shut down one side of the field. So I'm gonna do my job. So that makes him valuable. He made that position valuable and look good. Then you got to bring to the point of stats. When you get 51 interceptions, that means somebody threw at you 51 times. Because they just thought the person was going to be open.
Exactly. They weren't even testing Deion.
But don't even test Deion. You don't even try it. And you gotta like think about it on that aspect. You know what I'm saying? You can't, how you go to a team as a cornerback, take that team to the Super Bowl, leave that team, the team you go to, help that team go to a Super Bowl as a cornerback. You don't even touch the ball, but you help that team enough to rise that team's stock to get up to the Super Bowl as a corner. Name a team that Asante Samuel did that for.
Well, correction on that. He did touch the ball because then he went on the other side and played receiver.
Come on. Come on. Asante Samuel should be be thanking this man for even raising the stock and the value in the cornerback position. Because without Deion, we don't get likes of Revis. We don't get the likes of Jalen Ramsey. We don't get the likes of Richard Sherman. We don't get the likes of any other cornerbacks that the camera is on. Because they wasn't putting the camera on the corners until Deion primetime Sanders.
All right, so this is my next question for y'all then. Do you feel like stats are skewed then? Do you feel like stats don't tell the whole story? Do you feel like everything is in context?
No, stats don't tell us the entire. They tell us story, but they don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of different variables you got to keep account of when you can't just go solely off the stats. If I just go off of sole stats, I can say Jameis Winston is the best quarterback to ever play the game.
Oh, we know that ain't true.
So
I don't know if you can say that off of stats.
Well, let's just look at his passing yards. If we just look at his passing yards and his TD numbers, we were like, oh, he's a beast. But then you look at his interception numbers, and then you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to look at the total picture. You got to look at the total picture. You got to look at the competition they played against. You got to look at the era they played in. Like, it's a lot of things you got to put into effect versus just looking at solely numbers. I mean, we even seen it this year when the MVP voting. if we looked at just solely stats, it's Lamar Jackson hands down as the MVP. But unfortunately, you got to look at other factors. You got to look at who they played with. You got to look at the talent around them. Like, it's all these other components that you got to look at before you make your opinion on where somebody falls in their greatness, Hall of Fame, and like just think about the decisions that Hall of Fame have to make. They can't just look at solely numbers, because you judging players that played in the 70s versus players that played in the 2000s or the 90s. So, like, there's definitely a lot more components that you got to look at more than just the numbers.
All right. And that's kind of why I like these debates, because it's almost as if, like, because even on the stat line with we talking like LeBron James compared to Jordan, like the next generation could look at those numbers with 153 games played, 51 interceptions versus Deion 188 games and 53 interceptions, and kind of be like, was he as good as people make him out to be? And that's kind of what I even think about when I get older and tell kids about how great Lamar Jackson was, right? When their player is probably going to be playing and putting up stats, and they probably not going to believe it. They might look at Lamar Jackson numbers and be like, he was decent, but he ain't picking up as much as like the guy that point in time. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like an interesting thing, because that's how you know I feel like I know I'm getting older now, because now, like, when I'm talking to kids and they be like, yo, he's better than such and such. I'm like, bro, did y'all see with freaking Randy Moss? Did y'all know like Terrell Owens was like a freaking beast? But they like Justin Jefferson might be the greatest. You feel me? Or Jamar Chase.
It's funny. I'm thinking about like how I look at the old NFL films players and their highlights. And I'm like, man, they look like they was mops for real.
Right.
And then it's like, in 20 years from now, we're going to be looking at Lamar Jackson highlights, and then they're going to be like, dang, he look like he kind of slow for real compared to whoever playing in 20 years from now. So, like I said, it's all relative, but you got to look at, what they look like versus who they was playing against at the time.
Hey, that bring me to this right here. Who's better? Sponsored by Goldie. So let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask both of y'all. I'm gonna bring up two players, and then y'all gotta let me know who's better. And if I say the same person, then I let one of y'all speak on why is that person. If y'all both split and then say this person and you say that person, just give me a quick little understanding of why you say what you say. So let's get into it. Jerry Rice or Randy Moss?
I gotta go with. It's hard, but I gotta go with Randy Moss.
Who you got, Phil?
I was gonna say Jerry, bro. His numbers look unreal. In that era, they didn't really pass the ball like that. And he played. No, go ahead. I'll let you choose who you.
No. Y'all both picked the same person. So I just want to hear it.
No, I picked Jerry Rice. He picked.
He said Jerry Rice.
No, I said Randy.
You said Randy Moss? Oh, why you pick Randy Moss?
Said Randy Moss. You just gotta look at the build. He's a freak of nature. He has like the ideal height, the ideal speed. Now, if you look at the numbers, yeah, of course, I'm sure Jerry has better numbers. But if we out at the park and we picking our team, I'm picking Jerry Rice. You also got to look at.
You say you picking Jerry Rice?
No, I'm picking Randy
Yo,
Moss.
Confused.
If we in the park, I'm picking Randy Moss. But you also got to look at this. Look at the quarterbacks that he played with versus the quarterbacks that Randy Moss played with.
I like that.
I don't think there's no denying that Randy Moss is a better athlete. Now, did Randy Moss play in a better system? Yes. Did he play with a better quarterback? Yes. Did he have a more lengthy career? Yes. But like, if we just going off of pure talent, you gotta go Randy Moss.
Okay.
Now, if we're going off of numbers, the same conversation we were just having. If we're going solely off of numbers, then there's no argument against Jerry Rice.
Okay, I take that. I told you niggas keep it short. All right, here we go. Bro Owens or Chad Johnson?
I gotta go T.O.
I'm going T.O.
All right. Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald?
Calvin Johnson, for the same reason I picked Randy Moss.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Cal too. I'm gonna go Cal.
Okay. Antonio Brown or DeAndre Hopkins?
Woo. I gotta go AB, bro. And the reason being, that band could turn a negative play into a positive play. He could catch a slant and take it 60. Like, bro was talented, bro. And I don't even care who his quarterback was. He was able to make plays regardless of where he was going to be at. And he was pretty undersized and he was shifty. He had more tangibles.
I will go AB just because of the height that he had to overcome.
All right, Marvin.
How you gonna say that for AB and not Jerry Rice?
What you mean, Jerry Rice?
He had to overcome too.
He
had to overcome too. He wasn't no Calvin
He was the
Johnson
fastest or the tallest.
Or the tallest, bro. He just ran hills and still put up the most numbers of all time.
Yeah, but he was more athletic though. AB.
Cool. Oh, I was about to say just like Jerry Rice. I mean, just like Randy Moss and Jerry Rice.
No. But I'm saying they have. If you look at AB and D Hop, they have similar careers, but AB had more to overcome than D Hop did. Versus if you look at Jerry Rice, he got the numbers, but he had a longer career. He had a better quarterback. He had all of these other factors that helped him versus that AB didn't have, other than when he worked with, Tom Brady and the years he had with Ben.
But I don't know. I ain't going to say that all the way because Jerry Rice had T.O. just like Randy Moss had Chris Carter, and he still put up numbers.
All right.
Just saying.
Marvin Harrison or Reggie Wayne?
I got to go Marvin, bro.
I'm going to go Marvin.
Steve Smith or Torrey Holt?
I'm going to go Steve Smith.
That's a hard one, bro. That's a hard one. Because Torrey Holt was like that.
Torrey Holt was like that. Torrey Holt was like that, bro.
Yo, hey, he's the greatest show on turf. I got to go Torrey Holt, bro. Even though he had Isaac Bruce, that's the tough part because if you got tandems, you never know.
I'm just picking Steve Smith just because of the system that Holt was in made it easy for him to eat versus Steve Smith. He was the only target most of the times with a mop quarterback other than when he played with Cam. But
yeah, you're right. Steve a dog, bro.
And he was a dog. Like, yeah.
All right. Julio Jones or Michael Thomas?
Julio.
I got Julio.
All right. Chris Carter or Andre Reed?
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter.
Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams, bro.
Adams.
Okay.
No offense, Cooper, even though he a Triple Crown winner.
DK Metcalf or A.J. Brown?
I'm going to go DK.
Shit.
Yeah, I think so too.
With A.J. Brown?
I got to go DK.
Damn. All right.
They both dogs.
Isaac Bruce or Troy Brown?
Isaac Bruce.
You mean Tim Brown or Troy
Brown?
The one from the Patriots you talking about, right? Yeah, Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce.
Doug Baldwin or Golden Tate?
Dog Baldwin.
Deshaun Jackson? Deshaun Jackson or Brandon Cooks?
Deshaun Jackson.
Jared Judy or CD Lamb?
CD. Yeah, I go CD.
Antonio Gates or Jimmy Graham?
I go Gates.
Keenan Allen or Mike Evans?
I'm going to go Mike Evans.
I got to go Keenan Allen, bro.
Why you go Keenan Allen?
He put up numbers, bro. He was good or reliable. And that man, he gave, I think he 10 years, he did 10 years plus with San Diego before leaving, and he had plenty of different quarterbacks, but he was good, reliable, bro. He made plays.
All right. The last two. This might be easy, might not be. Odell Beckham Jr. or Mike Wallace?
I got to go
OBJ.
All right, this is the last one. Wes Welker or Julian Edelman?
Wes Welker.
He the one started that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this last one. And y'all just let me know who y'all taking. This might be a little tougher than the last one. Go with it. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the same thing, but this is going to be Ravens edition. All right, here we go. Who's better, Ravens edition? Ray Lewis or Ed Reed?
You got to go with Ray Lewis, man. No brainer in my mind.
I'm going to go Ed Reed.
Right, go Ed Reed.
That's crazy.
I'm going to go Ed Reed. Just because he's a better person.
All I'm going to say is...
What?
How you determine that shit?
I would go Ed Reed.
You'll say it.
I like Ed Reed, man. He's the greatest of all time. Both of them greatest of all time, but I got to go with Ray Lewis, man. He got 2 of them rings. 2 of them.
You'll say he a better person.
You'll say he picked better players off of personality.
All right, here we go.
Hey,
I ain't like what he said.
You know.
Flacco or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson, man. No Super Bowl.
Flacco got Super Bowl, though.
I contradicted. I know I contradicted myself, but...
He got a Super Bowl, but who we going off? Who a better player?
This is overall, like, who's got a better, like, place in your heart?
Lamar, that's why he a Hall of Famer.
All right.
Yeah, Lamar's a Hall of Famer.
All right. Terrell Suggs or Peter Bowill?
I like T. Sizzles.
I gotta go Suggs.
Even though Peter Bowill was a ring of honor ring.
Yeah, but Suggs is a Hall of Famer too.
All right. Let's go Jamal Lewis or Willis McGahee?
Oh, I thought you was about to say
Jamal Lewis. That's easy.
Jamal Lewis.
You thought about to say?
I thought you was about to say D. Hen.
I still go Jamal Lewis just because we only had 1 year at D. Hen, but
That D. Hen was like that. He might be on
like
another
that,
one.
but there's only 1 year.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Anquan Bolden or Steve Smith Sr.
I gotta go Bolden. Just because
I gotta go Bolden, man.
the Super Bowl.
Everybody remember that?
Yep. Michael Orr or Jonathan Ogden?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's too easy, bro.
Jay
All right, let's go. Marshall Yonder or Kevin Zeitler?
Yonder.
Marshall Leonda.
Torrey
Should have been in
Smith
the Hall of Fame.
or Jacoby Jones?
Dang. Torres. Dang, that's a tough one too.
Shout out Jacoby. Rest in peace.
shout
Go Jacoby.
You going to go Jacoby too?
I like Torrey Smith. He was a deep ball threat, man. He was a part of the instrumental part of the offense, even though Jacoby probably wouldn't have won no Super Bowls without Jacoby. So
All right.
that's a tough
There you
one.
go. Justin Tucker or Matt Stover?
We might have to go. Well, Matt Stove is a better person.
Yo, duh. There you go. Christian McAllister or Ladarius Webb?
McAllister.
Chris McAllister.
Damn, for real? All right. Todd Heap or Dennis Pitta?
Why you do tall heat but Mark Andrews?
You should have said Mark Andrews. That would have been a little harder to say.
Nah, I feel like I would have just went Mark Andrews. For real, for real.
Over heat like that?
Yeah, I would probably put him over Heap.
I'm definitely putting him over.
Both of
Pitta.
them?
But Dennis Pitta
Yeah,
did his thing. He had a couple good moments.
I would have said Pitta and likely maybe that would have been a little closer.
All right. Ray,
Who won? Who was the tight end in the first? Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was saying who was the tight end on the first Super Bowl? Because I don't think Heap won a Super Bowl.
Shannon
Shannon
Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon
Dang,
Sharp
yeah.
and Ben Coates.
Damn, so yeah, so they the best. He probably the GOAT one, even though he was with the 2
Ray
seasons.
Rice or Jamal Lewis?
Both guys Super Bowl. That's probably the hardest one right there.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yo, no Ray. Yo, that's your friend.
He torn. He's a good person. I might have to go Jamal Lewis, bro, just because he almost had that record, bro. What was it, 2,000 yards in one season? We went as far as Jamal went that year. I ain't gonna lie to you, but you know, Ray Rice had the instrumental plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
But
Ray
you know
Rice
that was
because-
more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ray Rice just because without him we don't have that second Super Bowl.
But you know, Joe Flacco kind of was like that playoff GOAT on that one though. But Jamal Lewis was like he kept that defense fresh. I don't know.
Flacco, in my opinion, ended up working out. But Flacco made the dumbest decision to even throw that 4th and 29 pass to Ray Rice in that situation.
That check down.
Yeah, 4th and 29.
Yeah, that was big.
But hey, Ray Rice bailed him out.
Yep. Here we go.
No, you're right. You're right.
Jimmy Smith or Marlon Humphrey?
I like Jimmy got a Super Bowl, man, and he made that play on that up ball to Crabtree to win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have to go Jimmy, even though Marlo got the punch, man. And I love his podcast. It's he dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jimmy.
All right. Last couple more. Bernard Pollard or Tony Jefferson?
I'm gonna go Pollard just because of that hit on
But
the
yeah,
Patriot
Paula,
game.
yeah. That hit he landed.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Lahodi Nada or Brandon Williams?
Who?
Lahodi. Halodi Nada?
You said Allahu.
Halodi
Yeah,
Nada
we don't know who him.
or Brandon Williams?
Oh, that's nada. Easy.
Nada.
That's easy.
All right. Which moment would you take? Joe Flacco Super Bowl win or Lamar MVP season?
For the Super Bowl win.
Super Bowl win.
All right.
Boom.
All right, last two. Billy Cundiff 2011 miss or Justin Tucker 66-yard field goal?
Hold on. Why wouldn't I take the make?
I don't understand that
The Billy
question.
Cundiff missed it in 2011 in the playoff.
Yeah, but then you said a miss versus a make. I'm gonna take a make every time.
Right.
But Billy Cundiff wasn't on that team.
What you mean?
What you mean?
He was on our
Next
team.
question.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Suggs sack record or Reed's interceptions?
Interceptions.
Interceptions.
That's my questions for the day. For Who's Better? Sponsored by
Let me throw
Goldie.
one at you before we go off.
You said what?
In the show.
Yeah. What's up?
John Harbaugh, who just signed his
3-year extension.
3-year extension to stay with the Ravens, or Brian Billett.
John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Harbs.
I just feel like he's just a fun coach to play for.
And I think Brian Billick has the Hall of Fame team.
He had to do too much coaching.
It's true.
John Harbaugh is a better person.
All right, Phil, take us out.
All right, fam. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of From the Crib podcast with your boy Philly Cash, K, and E. We'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
Peace out.